now you can move.
Now I was censoring. Now I was wondering what I might, talk about to make this special. So Sunday is her day of special. So we're going to make Sunday a very happy day, right? Okay, so you got it. She's the president. I'm the president's husband, whatever that's, first man, or whatever. And I'd just like to say, I grew up in a middle-class family.
Brian, to cut the mic when he's up here, right? Hey, look at this crowd. Man, this is great. I am not going to stand up here and talk because I want y'all to hear and enjoy. I have seen them at Piccolo, and they are awesome. So Sandy's going to come out and introduce the top notes. And also, Deb's going to remind you at the end, but the market is going to stay open for us after this. So if you want to go down and get a frozen casserole for dinner or chicken salad or pimento cheese or anything in there, they're going to be down there afterwards, and Deb will remind you also. So, all right, without further ado, thank you for coming, and here I present the top notes. You all want to sit down and we'll go from there? Good afternoon. It is good to see all of you and good to be performing for the Happy Hearts again. I want to take a moment to give a big thank you to Helen Rooney and all of her associates who have made this effort come to fruition in making this concert happen. So thank you, Helen. We are the Top Notes, and I would like to introduce our members. We have Deborah. Raise your hand, Deborah. Carol, Ken, and I'm Sandy. Thank you. On the program, you will see that there are 5 of us in the photo. In case you're wondering, we do have 5 members, and one could not play today. We take turns playing in different positions at both pianos, and it is enjoyable for us to do that, and hopefully makes it more interesting for you. Deborah would like to come now and introduce the first song.
American pianist and composer George Gershwin wrote his opera Porgy and Bess in 1934. His brother Ira Gershwin wrote the lyrics. The opera is based on the book Porgy by DuBose Hayward, a native of Charleston. George Gershwin had a very special connection to Charleston, and that he came here to collaborate with DuBose Hayward on Porgy and Bess, and he enjoyed spending his summers on Folly Beach. A friend of mine once told me an interesting tale of how her family got to know Gershwin. Her brothers used to play half rubber on the beach, and Gershwin became so intrigued, he started to play the game with them. As they became friends, Gershwin asked the brothers to take him to the African American churches so that he could hear the authentic music of Charleston. They'd go together and listen for hours. One day, he invited the boys over and said, "I'd like you to hear a song I just wrote." Well, can you imagine? Those boys heard the first rendition of the song Summertime, one of the many timeless classics from Porgy and Bess. Well, we're not going to play Summertime today, But we are going to play another iconic favorite from Porgy and Bess, I Got Plenty a Nuttin'. The lyrics tell of the cheerful acceptance of poverty as freedom from world cares. As quoted Porgy, the prizes in life are the stars in the sky, my song, my gal, my laud, and they are all free. So please enjoy.
Parisian composer Georges Bizet set his opera Carmen in Seville, Spain, where it tells the story of a love affair between the provocative factory girl Carmen and the toreador Escamillo, her flirtations with Don Jose, the corporal of the guard, and ultimately her murder. Well, all that was apparently a rather tough pill to swallow for audiences back in 1875 when the opera premiered, and consequently, the opera Carmen was a failure. Sadly, it was not until after the composer's death that the opera's seductive Spanish rhythms and soaring melodies eventually won over the critics, and the opera Carmen went on to become a staple of operatic repertoire. Today we're going to present selections from Carmen, and our selections will include the Toreador Song, Habanera, and the March of the Toreadors. Thank you.
Siciliana was written as a movement within a larger piece of music, starting in the Baroque period. Bach's style is Baroque, characterized by lots of notes, simple motoric rhythms, and steady shifts of underlying harmony. It is written in a slow 6/8 time, somewhat resembling a tarantella. Loosely associated with Sicily, this piece evokes a pastoral mood. Bach was a German composer considered the most perfect of the Baroque era. Many people are unaware that without some specific enthusiasm and recognition for this master's classical works, Bach might have been obscure. He was much more than only having been known as a skilled organist, musical mathematician, and that guy with the perfect curly white wig. Fortunately, around 1840, his musical compositions were admired and appreciated by geniuses like Mozart and eventually Mendelssohn. Enjoy Siciliana. Wow.
We don't want you to go home without having learned anything. So we're going to teach you some musical terms, okay? Here's the first one. Subito. Subito? Here's your three choices. It's a multiple choice pop quiz, okay? The first choice. Does subito mean when you lose your baby toe, they give you a substitute toe? It's a sub toe, subito. Maybe subito means a very small submarine sandwich. No? Maybe it means you're supposed to eat under the table. No. Okay. Maybe it means playing quietly in the background. You think? Okay. Y'all got it right.
Playing piano in an ensemble can be fun and rewarding, but there are some challenges, and one difficulty is finding original music for this ensemble. You've probably noticed that the majority of the pieces, and we've noticed the majority of publications for piano ensemble, are transcriptions of orchestral music or arrangements of Broadway show tunes and such. Fortunately, there are a few contemporary composers who are churning out quite a bit of music for piano ensembles, and one of our favorites is Kevin Olson. Dr. Kevin Olson heads the piano department at Utah State University, and he's an active concert performer, composer, and a specialist in piano pedagogy. He has composed volumes of piano music for players from the beginning to advanced levels, and many of his compositions are for piano ensemble experiences. We're going to present an Olson suite, and we've selected 3 pieces by Olson. The first movement will be A Prelude for a New Day, and here Olson takes his inspiration from the serenity of a sunrise. Next, we'll go to West Wind, which was inspired by the mythological Zephyr or west wind, which usually denotes a soft, warm spring breeze, symbolizing the potential for new life. And we'll close with Rush Hour, which is full of jagged syncopated rhythms, angular melodies, and dissonant chords reminiscent of honking car horns. We would ask that, since we'd like to perform this as a suite, we'd ask that you hold applause until the conclusion of the third piece. Thank you.
Y'all probably recognize the name Scott Joplin, and you probably know him as the king of ragtime. That's what he was aspiring to, but he never saw that success in his lifetime. He was born a poor black boy in Texas in 1868, and his mother recognized that he had a talent for piano playing, and she saw to it that he got some lessons. In those days, there were pianists who went around and played honky-tonk music, and they called it ragtime. But Scott Joplin wanted to elevate that music by combining it with classical rhythms and African rhythms. And that's what he set out to accomplish, which he called the classic rag. He wrote 40 of them, and he wrote 2 operas. But only one of the rags became well known, the Maple Leaf Rag. It was played at the World Fair in 1893, and it brought Scott Joplin a bit of notoriety, and he thought he was going to be a successful musician. But his success didn't last. His first opera failed, and then the score was stolen and never found again. And it wasn't until after his death, 50 years later, that he won the Pulitzer Prize. His music was featured in The Sting, the movie The Sting, in the 1970s, and that's probably where you became familiar with him, and that was why we call him the King of Ragtime.
I know a dark, secluded place, a place where no one knows your face. A glass of wine, a fast embrace. It's called Hernando's Hideaway. Ole! Those are the opening lines of the wonderful tango, Hernando's Hideaway, from the 1954 Broadway musical, Pajama Game, written by Jerry Ross and Richard Adler. The original production ran for over 1,000 performances and was revived in 1973 and again in 2006 when it was a Tony Award for Best Revival of Musicals. The song is about a fictional nightclub where lovers can meet for a secret rendezvous. Legend has it that Hernando's Hideaway was based on an establishment in Illinois that had been a speakeasy in the 1920s and where Al Capone actually did hide out from the Chicago police. As Madeline arranged this song for our group, she heard the lyrics in her head and was inspired to maintain the melodrama, mystery, and good humor that the song evokes. So here's Hernando's Hideaway. Ole!
You ready for your next pop quiz, right? Okay, here's the next musical term. Tutti. Tutti. Do you think tutti means what two people might order instead of coffee? Tutti. Do you think it means So we're a big fan of Kevin Olson, as you can probably see. He wrote that Rhapsody with Scott Joplin tunes, and we're playing another piece later in the program, and he wrote that suite we played. And now we're going to play what for us is his newest composition. It's About Time. And what I really like about Kevin Olson is he draws inspiration from so many different things, like car horns and classical music and children's songs and folk songs and jazz. And this piece is inspired by Latin music. So it's got a lot of crazy rhythms in it, and the way he described it is, once the clock starts ticking, the rhythmic energy of this Latin-infused piece never lets go. It's so fun to play, and I hope you enjoy it.
And now, Perpetual Commotion by Kevin Olson again. You may remember him many times in the program. He started composing at the age of 5, an age when the rest of us mortals were just learning to read. He is a native of Utah, where he is an active pianist, composer, and coordinator at Utah State University. He also oversees a program which provides piano instruction for over 200 pre-college students. Teaching has inspired him to write many solos and books for piano. Perpetual Commotion is a high-energy piece that is really fun to perform. Of course, the title is a clever takeoff on the expression perpetual motion, which relates to unceasing movement. Well, this piece is unrelenting. Add to that the commotion that follows with pandemonium agitation and excitement, and mix in a little Irish jig, and you get the toe-tapping, fast-paced chaos that is Perpetual Commotion. Please try not to sit still. It's almost impossible.
I can say is, wow. Thank you. One more applause for him, please. Fabulous, fabulous. Wow, that was sensational. I want to thank everybody who came today. Great crowd, great response. Just a few announcements, and then we're going to let you get out of here. We do have some donation plates in the front and in the back. This helps Happy Hearts get great groups like Top Notes that we just heard. We've had Tim Lowry here, for those of you who absolutely love Tim Lowry, Somerville's world-famous storyteller. We've had the Plantation Singers. We've had the wonderful ventriloquist Mike Myers here. And we just have had some fabulous, fabulous entertainment this year for Happy Hearts. So I do thank you. If you feel so inclined to leave us a donation, that would be most appreciative, and we're grateful for it. Happy Hearts, we will not be meeting next month in November because that falls right on Thanksgiving. So no Happy Hearts in November, but we want to see y'all back in December. The 13th of December. I've been reminded of that. Oh, by the way, I'm Deb Luce Richardson. I'm the vice president, and I do a little more than this. And I'm not going to say anything about cats or nothing like that. So, just a reminder, the gourmet gift shop is staying open extra just for y'all to be able to go downstairs if you want to buy anything. So please keep that in mind because our gourmet gift shop does support local missions. All right. Do we want to do birthdays? Okay. Oh.
Wrong with the panel. It's been going off all day. So if you do go through here to get to the elevator, you're just going to hear it. It's annoying, but we just wanted to let you know if that's what's going on. There's no fire.
I didn't even hear them, so that's good. Okay, all right. Do we want to do birthdays? Can you play Happy Birthday for us? Ken? Okay. Normally for Happy Hearts, we celebrate birthdays for the month. Now, we did not have Happy Hearts in September because of Helene. And so, I said with an E. So if you had a birthday in the month of September, please stand. And if you've had a birthday here in the month of October, please stand so we can sing to you. Don't be shy now. Come on now. Stand up. All right. Where's Helen? Her birthday's Sunday, as you know. Okay. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear all y'all. Happy birthday to you. And we thank Ken for that because I caught him right off guard. Okay, if you all would stand, is the fire alarm going off? Okay, the fire alarm just stopped. Crisis over. All right, if y'all would just stand with me, please. I'll give us a word of prayer and we're all dismissed. Father, we do thank you for this time that we've had together. We thank you for this wonderful entertainment that we've had. And we also, Lord, thank you for this wonderful weather that we've been enjoying. May we all be blessed by what we've heard today and go out of here with music in our hearts and in our soul. Be with us throughout the rest of the weekend, Lord, and we bless everyone who's come here today. In thy name we ask, amen. Thank you all for coming, and please come back in December.